I moved out when my parents asked me to pay rent. So, I'm 23, oldest of 5 kids, and basically running my parents' house like I'm the damn manager or something. I'm in school full-time getting my 2nd degree. Plus, I work part-time in my field. My employer already said they'll take me full-time once I graduate. So, I'm making decent money for a student. Enough to pay for school and actually save some cash. My siblings are 20, 17, 14, and 10. My parents both work. Dad pulls crazy long hours, and Mom does the 9-to-5 grind at some stressful job. So guess who picks up all the slack? Me, I do literally everything. Grocery shopping every week, all the laundry for 7 people, cooking dinner every single night, and meal prep on Sundays so everyone has lunches ready. I even manage my siblings' chores, like making sure there's dog food in the pantry so my youngest brother can actually feed our 2 dogs, or that we have poop bags on the leashes. It's like being a mom to 4 other people, plus going to school. During Christmas break, I finally had enough saved up to buy myself a PS5. Been wanting one forever. And I found one at regular price, which if you know anything about PS5s in 2022, was basically winning the lottery. The rest of my family still shares this old PS4 in the living room, but I keep mine in my room. It's mine. I bought it, and no, I don't share it. Well, my 20-year-old brother Jake started whining to my parents about how unfair it was that I had all this money and cool stuff, but wouldn't share. Like, dude, get a job. But whatever. So, my parents called me into the kitchen for this family meeting, which was basically them telling me I need to start paying rent. They said it wasn't fair that I was making good money while living there for free, especially when I won't even share my gaming console. I just sat there listening to them explain how much they wanted from me monthly. And I'm doing the math in my head. After rent, I'd have maybe $800 left over each month. That's after buying my own food, gas, school supplies, everything. I went to my room and actually calculated it out on paper. If I dropped a couple classes next semester, I could go almost full-time at work. It would only add 1 more year to my degree, but I could afford my own place. And here's the kicker. I'd actually have more free time and way more spending money than if I stayed home paying rent while doing everyone's chores. So, I packed up my stuff. Everything I owned fit in my Honda Civic, which honestly was kind of depressing, but also liberating. I didn't tell them I was leaving until I was loading my car. "Where are you going?" my mom asked, standing in the driveway in her bathrobe. "Getting my own place. Thanks for helping me realize I can afford it." I stayed at this Airbnb for 2 weeks while I figured out apartments, adjusted my class schedule, and got more hours at work. The Airbnb host, this older lady named Beverly, kept asking if I was okay because I was just so happy to be there. Like, I was literally excited to do my own laundry. And, okay, I'm not going to lie, I went a little crazy on dating apps. Living at home with 4 siblings and strict parents meant I hadn't had anyone over in like ever. Suddenly, having my own space was like being let out of prison. I found this decent 1-bedroom apartment about 15 minutes from campus. Nothing fancy, but it has a dishwasher and in-unit laundry, which felt like luxury after sharing 1 bathroom with 6 other people. The fallout was immediate. My parents had to give Jake all my old responsibilities. Poor guy went from just keeping his own room clean to grocery shopping, cooking dinner, and managing everyone else's chores. The other 3 siblings got stuck with his old tasks split between them. Jake called me crying, literally crying, because he had to break plans with his girlfriend Megan to meal prep for the week. Apparently, Mom and Dad have this rule that girlfriends can't come over when they're not home, so he couldn't even have her help. My 17-year-old sister, Emma, texted me saying she now has to do laundry for 5 people every weekend, and it's taking up her entire Saturday. The 14-year-old has to walk both dogs twice a day instead of just feeding them. Even my 10-year-old brother is mad because he has to help with dishes now. My parents kept calling saying I left them in the lurch and that I was being selfish. Dad actually said I was abandoning my family responsibilities, which was rich coming from someone who worked 12-hour days and never cooked a single meal. But here's the thing. I'm loving it. I bought myself a little succulent from IKEA and named it Gerald. I moved out when my parents asked me to pay rent. Oh, I'm 23, the oldest of 5, and basically running the household like a manager. I'm full-time in school for my 2nd degree and work part-time in my field, with a full-time offer waiting after graduation. I make enough for school and savings. My siblings are 20, 17, 14, and 10. Both parents work crazy hours, so all the household tasks fall on me. Groceries, laundry for 7, cooking every night, meal prepping, and managing my siblings' chores like feeding the dogs or grabbing poop bags. It's like being a parent while going to school. At Christmas break, I finally saved enough for a PS5, which I bought at regular price, basically winning the lottery. The rest of the family still shared an old PS4 in the living room, but mine stayed in my room. No sharing. My 20-year-old brother Jake complained to our parents about how unfair it was I had all this money and stuff, but wouldn't share. That led to a family meeting where my parents told me I had to start paying rent. They said it was unfair I made good money, but lived free, especially since I wouldn't share the console. I did the math. After rent and expenses, I'd have $800 left. I realized if I dropped some classes, worked full-time, I could afford my own place with more free time and spending money. So, I packed everything into my Honda Civic and left. I didn't tell them until loading the car. My mom was shocked, but I told her thanks for helping me realize I could do it. I stayed in an Airbnb 2 weeks, figuring out apartments and work hours. The host kept asking if I was okay, because I seemed so happy. I was just ecstatic to do my own laundry and not share bathrooms with 6 people. I even went crazy on dating apps. Living with strict parents and siblings meant I hadn't had anyone over in ages. I got a decent 1-bedroom 15 minutes from campus. Nothing fancy, but it had a dishwasher and in-unit laundry. Luxuries after sharing 1 bathroom with 6 people. The fallout? My parents dumped my old chores on Jake, who went from his own mess to full household duties. Jake called me crying because he had to cancel plans with his girlfriend Megan. Parents don't allow girlfriends over if they're not home, so she couldn't even help. My 17-year-old sister Emma texts about doing laundry for 5 every weekend, which takes up her whole Saturday. My 14-year-old now has to walk both dogs twice daily, and my 10-year-old is mad about doing dishes. My parents called nonstop. Dad accused me of abandoning family responsibilities, which was rich coming from a guy who works 12-hour days but never cooks. But here's the thing, I'm loving it. I even bought a succulent from IKEA and named it Gerald.story. She posted, "Imagine being so pathetic your girl fakes cancer to leave you." I posted her medical records showing she never had cancer, but claimed $200K from fundraisers. The FBI raided her house during her Instagram Live victory party. I, 29, male, was scrolling through Instagram last Monday when I saw it. My ex-girlfriend, Kendra, 27, had posted a video laughing with her new boyfriend, some influencer wannabe named Jackson. The caption read, "Imagine being so pathetic, your girl has to fake cancer just to escape your boring ass life. Cash upgrades. Sorry, not sorry. Living my best life." 22,000 likes, 3,500 comments. Most calling me a loser, saying I must have been abusive, saying she did what she had to do. We'd been together 3 years. She'd beaten cancer 8 months ago. The whole thing had been traumatic. The diagnosis, the treatment, watching her struggle. Our friends, family, and even strangers had rallied around her. They'd raised money through various fundraising platforms, organized benefit concerts, sold merchandise, around 200,000 total, maybe more. I'd supported her through everything, drove her to fake chemo appointments, held her while she cried about losing her hair. She'd been shaving it, watched her post inspiration content about being a warrior, finding out it was fake. That happened 3 weeks ago when I ran into her oncologist, Dr. Martinez, at a coffee shop. I thanked him for everything he'd done. He looked confused. "I'm sorry." "Who's your wife?" "Kendra Holloway. You treated her for lymphoma last year." His face went pale. "Son, I've never had a patient by that name." The room started spinning. I showed him photos. He confirmed never seen her before in his life. I didn't confront her immediately. Instead, I did something smarter. I started gathering evidence. Update 1. Y'all wanted to know what evidence I gathered? Buckle up. First, I contacted the hospital where she claimed to get treatment. Told them I was concerned about medical fraud. They took it very seriously. Within 24 hours, they confirmed no record of Kendra Holloway ever being a patient. No record of her even having insurance claims there. Then, I did something that probably wasn't entirely legal, but whatever. I still had access to her old laptop. She'd left it when she moved out. Claimed it was too painful to take reminders of her sick days. Found an entire folder labeled props. This folder had photoshopped medical documents, tutorial videos on how to fake chemo side effects, receipts for the bald cap she wore. Yeah, she never actually shaved her head. Scripts for what to say during different stages of treatment. A spreadsheet tracking donations with notes like crying video, extra 5K, and posted hospital pic equals 8K day. The most damning thing, email exchanges with Jackson from before her diagnosis. They've been planning this for months. One email from him said, "Just stick to the script, babe. Once you hit the goal, we'll move to the beach and start fresh. That idiot will never know." I screenshot everything, uploaded it to 3 different cloud services, sent copies to my lawyer friend Dimitri. But I wasn't done yet. Remember those fundraisers? Turns out falsely claiming to have cancer for donations is wire fraud. Each platform transaction counts as a separate incident. She'd accepted money from people in 14 different states. That makes it federal. Update 2. So Kendra saw my first post. It had gone viral. 2.8 million views. Her response was something. First, she went live on Instagram claiming, "I have bitter ex making things up." She actually said, and I quote, "He's so obsessed with me that he's creating fake documents." It's really sad, also kind of scary, like stalker vibes. Her followers ate it up. They started mass reporting my accounts. I started getting death threats. Someone found my LinkedIn and contacted my employer saying I was harassing a cancer survivor. Jackson posted a video doing push-ups shirtless, because of course with text overlay saying when her ex is so broke, he tries to sue for attention. Then Kendra made her first mistake. She decided to double down. She started a new fundraiser, called it the Survivors Legal Defense Fund, claiming she needed money to fight defamation from an abusive ex. She raised $12,000 in 6 hours. That's when I played my first card. I posted the folder, everything, the tutorials, the spreadsheet, the emails, but most importantly, I posted the hospital's official statement, confirming they had no record of her. I also posted a recording I'd saved of her practicing her chemo reaction in the bathroom mirror, complete with fake gagging sounds. The internet turned fast. Her comments went from, "You're so brave," to, "Wait, what?" to, "Oh my god, you're sick." But Kendra, she wasn't done. She posted a tearful video claiming the hospital lost her records and that I doctored the evidence. She said she was going to prove everything at her victory party, a live stream event where she'd show her real medical records and expose the truth. The party was scheduled for Friday night. 500 people RSVP'd to watch in person at Jackson's house. Thousands more would watch online. Little did she know, the FBI had already been watching Update 3. The day before the party, Dimitri called me Thursday morning. "Dude, you need to see this." He'd been digging deeper. Turns out this wasn't Kendra's first rodeo. She'd run similar scams before under different names. Claimed to be a fire victim in 2019. Raised 30K. Fake car accident in 2020. Raised 15K. Fabricated a dead sister in 2021. Raised 25 at her. Always different cities. Always deleted her social media after. Always had a tragic backstory that made people want to help. But this time, she'd gotten greedy and sloppy. The FBI had been building a case for months. Someone from one of her previous scams had recognized her and reported it. They'd been gathering evidence, waiting for her to make a big enough move to make the arrest worthwhile. Her new legal defense fund. That was it. That was the move. An agent named Harrison contacted me Thursday afternoon, asked if I'd be willing to provide my evidence. I gave them everything. He was particularly interested in the spreadsheet and emails. She documented her own crime, he said, sounding almost impressed. "We usually have to work a lot harder than this." He told me they'd be making their move soon, but couldn't give me details. I had a pretty good idea when, though. Update 4. Friday night, 8 p.m. I wasn't there in person, but I was watching the Instagram live. 5,000 viewers and climbing. Kendra looked like she'd spent thousands on her outfit. Designer dress, professional makeup, hair extensions flowing. Jackson was in a silk shirt, looking like he'd raided a Miami Vice costume department. "Tonight we celebrate," she announced. "Tonight I show you all the truth. Tonight, we expose the lies and the liars." She had a whole presentation ready. Fake medical records on a big screen TV. A supposed video statement from a doctor. Later found out it was an actor from Fiverr. She even had someone she claimed was a nurse who treated her. It was Jackson's cousin Brittany and Scrubs from Amazon. The crowd was eating it up, champagne flowing, music bumping. Her follower count was climbing. She hit 100K during the stream. At 8:43 p.m., she raised a glass for a toast. To beating cancer, to beating the haters, to living our best. That's when the door flew open. FBI, everyone remain where you are. The stream didn't cut immediately. For about 45 seconds, the world got to watch federal agents swarm the room. Kendra's face went from confused to terrified to angry in record time. "This is harassment!" she screamed. "I'm a cancer survivor. You can't do this!" Agent Harrison, I recognized his voice, calmly read her rights, while she thrashed and screamed about setups and jealous exes. Jackson tried to run, didn't make it far. Turns out, trying to parkour over federal agents doesn't work like it does in his TikToks. The last thing heard before the stream cut was Kendra screaming, "I'll sue all of you." Do you know who I am? The viewer count had hit 73,000. Update 5. The internet exploded. Kendra Scammer was trending globally. News outlets picked it up. Influencer fakes cancer, steals 200K, gets arrested on livestream was everywhere. The details that came out were insane. She'd scammed money from a children's cancer charity that gave her a courage grant. An elderly couple who donated their retirement savings. A teenager who sold his gaming setup to contribute over 2,000 individual donors across multiple platforms. Total fraud amount, $247,093. Jackson was arrested too. Conspiracy to commit wire fraud. Turns out he wasn't just her boyfriend, he was her business partner. They'd done this in 3 other states. But here's the wildest part. Kendra's mom called me. Gloria had no idea. She'd been telling everyone about her daughter's brave battle. She donated $5,000 herself. "I'm so sorry," she sobbed. "I failed as a mother." I don't know how she became this. I felt bad for Gloria, but then she said something that made me realize where Kendra got it from. But, you know, if you hadn't exposed her, none of this would have happened. She'd have paid people back eventually. No accountability even now. Update 6. Kendra got bail. Her parents put up their house. Conditions included no internet access and surrender of her passport. Guess what she did within 24 hours? If you guessed went on Instagram from a friend's phone to claim innocence, you win. The video was unhinged. She claimed, "I planted the evidence." The FBI was corrupt. She really did have cancer, but was misdiagnosed. Jackson forced her into everything. This was about silencing a strong woman. She also started selling free Kendra merchandise through some random website that violated her bail conditions. She was back in custody within 12 hours. Jackson, meanwhile, flipped on her immediately. His lawyer released a statement saying he was manipulated by a master con artist and would be cooperating fully with authorities. The evidence he provided included recorded conversations of her coaching him on the scam. Text messages where she detailed exactly how to fake medical documents. Her master list of future scam ideas, including fake pregnancy, fake assault, and fake harassment campaigns. Banking records showing she'd hidden money in multiple accounts. She'd actually scammed closer to $400. She just hadn't reported at all. Update 7. The trial was beautiful in a twisted way. Kendra showed up in a wheelchair. Actually tried to claim she was now sick from the stress of being falsely accused. The judge wasn't buying it. The prosecution's evidence was overwhelming. My documentation, the FBI's investigation, Jackson's testimony from 23 victims who donated, bank records showing she'd spent the money on vacations, designer goods, and cosmetic procedures. The actual doctor from the fake video testifying it was a Fiverr gig. Her defense was basically, "So I have mental health issues and didn't know what I was doing." The prosecutor destroyed that by showing her spreadsheets with notes like, "Crying gets more money," and save hospital posts for Monday's highest engagement. My testimony was simple. I just presented the facts. How I found out, what I discovered, what I documented. Kendra tried to stare me down the entire time. I didn't look at her once. When victims testified, she actually rolled her eyes. One elderly man, Roger, had donated his late wife's life insurance payout because his wife had died of lymphoma, and he wanted to help another young woman fight it. Kendra yawned during his testimony. The jury deliberated for 2 hours. Final update. Guilty on all counts. 14 counts of wire fraud. 2 counts of identity theft. She'd used fake doctor names. 1 count of conspiracy to commit fraud. 1 count of money laundering. Sentence: 8 years federal prison. 3 years supervised release. $747,993 in restitution. They found even more money she'd hidden. Kendra's reaction was to scream that everyone was jealous of her success. She actually said, "You're all just mad because I lived the life you couldn't." As they led her away, she shouted at me, "This isn't over! I'll ruin you when I get out." The judge added 6 months for threatening a witness. Jackson got 18 months and restitution of $50,000. He cried like a baby at sentencing. His mom posted about how the system failed her baby boy. He's apparently already trying to become a prison TikTok influencer or something. Gloria, Kendra's mom, still sends me nasty messages about ruining her daughter's life. I blocked each new number. The fundraising platforms implemented new verification requirements because of this case. They now require medical documentation to be verified through healthcare providers directly. As for me, I got therapy to deal with the betrayal. Learning that 3 years of your life were built on lies isn't easy, but I'm doing better. I started dating again, met someone genuine. Harmony, a nurse who actually saves lives instead of pretending to fight for one. She thinks the whole story is insane, but says it shows I have integrity. Last week I got a letter from Roger, the elderly man who testified. He thanked me for exposing her and said his faith in humanity was restored, knowing people like me would stand up to fraud. He got about $3,000 back in restitution. Some of Kendra's followers still think she's innocent. There's actually a free Kendra Facebook group with 200 members who think the whole thing was a conspiracy. They send me death threats occasionally. I forward them to the FBI. The documentary people keep calling. Netflix wants to make a series. I said no. I just want to move on. But I did keep one thing. A screenshot of the arrest happening live on Instagram. It's saved in a folder labeled Karma. Sometimes, when I'm having a bad day, I look at it and remember, play stupid games. Win federal prison sentences. Edit. Stop asking for Kendra's social media. It's all been deleted as evidence. Also, sending her hate mail in prison just gives her attention. Let her rot in obscurity. Edit 2. For those asking how to spot these scams, if someone's cancer journey seems performative, if they refuse to let you donate directly to the hospital, if their symptoms are inconsistent, if they get defensive about questions, trust your gut. Edit 3. Jackson's mom is now claiming I seduced her son into crime. The mental gymnastics are Olympic level. Edit 4. Yes, I'm aware Kendra's planning to write a book from prison. It's supposedly called Framed. How One Man's Jealousy Destroyed My Life. Nobody's going to publish that trash. Edit 5. The nurse, Jackson's cousin, Brittany, got charged too, impersonating medical personnel. She got probation and community service. She has to work at an actual hospital now in the cafeteria. Final edit. Just found out Kendra tried to start a prison beauty YouTube channel. Got shut down immediately. Even in federal prison, she's trying to influence.